Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where people ask questions, get advice, and we get satisfaction. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled Giant Dog, Giant Bite, Giant Mess. Trying to keep it vague as we may be going to court. I live in Ohio and I took my dog to a dog park last weekend. I have a giant breed and it was bitten by another dog. Edited because my opinion, although unwavering, is not fact. I've called the dog warden and asked the owner to pay for the vet bills. The owner states that it is only partially their responsibility as my dog went up to their dog in the dog park initially. The owner was throwing a ball for their dog to chase and my dog loves balls. The dangerous dog, according to the owner, is very territorial and protective over its balls and bit my dog. My dog yelped and tried to run away and the other dog kept biting at my dog. The other owner states that they won't pay the full bill. And guys, I don't know about you, but a dog that loves balls and is very territorial and protective over its balls seems pretty dangerous to me, if you catch my drift. Anyway, my question is, am I partially liable? Are they correct? The dog park clearly states that owners are responsible for their dog's actions. The owner went back to the same park and now has a second case against the same dog. I have picture proof of the dog bite. There were other fields in the dog park the owner could have taken the dog to throw a ball for. Please and thank you in advance for any legal advice you can offer. And a user in the comments said, no, you are not liable. Also, if this guy knows his dog is dangerous and possessive of balls, there should either be no balls or the dog should stay on the private property. And guys, what do you think about this story? Who is in the wrong here? And also, I'm sure we have some dog owners in the comments and I'm curious, have you ever been in a similar situation? And if so, how did you solve this issue? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the giant dog story. There was a lot that happened in between that post and now. 4 days after our dog was bitten by the dog, the owner took the pit bull back to the same dog park and bit another dog. The police were called on the aggressive dog. The dog warden that showed up happened to be the one that took my case and statement. He recognized the name and while he was standing there getting the owner's information and statement about both dog bites, the dog bit a third dog. He then asked the owner not to return and banned them from the park. We did take the owner to court. They argued negligence, we argued liability, they argued that the following dog bites were not relevant and had an excuse for every bite. They said their dog accidentally caught our dog in the face and was not being aggressive, and the dog was not being aggressive the other 2 times either. They said that they took responsibility for it and admitted that their dog bit our dog, but that they did not owe the whole amount. It was the principle of it, according to them. The judge took everything into consideration and said he would have a judgment in a few days. We got the judgment the next day and the owner owes us the full amount. I'm glad it's done and I hope the owner learns their lesson. Multiple dog bites within 1 week means you should not take your dog to the dog park. And by the way guys, does anybody remember this awesome novel/movie from Stephen King called Cujo, about that huge friendly dog that at one point turns extremely aggressive and evil? I think the last time I saw that movie was on a flight before the pandemic started. And the next one is titled Jeweler returned my ring after repair, but the stone in it is not my diamond, Washington State. The band on my engagement ring broke. I took it in to have it repaired at a jewelry shop. They did the work and mailed the ring back to me. I'm not local, but the diamond they sent back is not mine. My stone is a 2CT real diamond with a tiny bit of clouding visible to the naked eye. The stone they sent back is literally perfect. Unfortunately, I don't think they gave me a higher quality diamond. I think switched it out for a fake one. My diamond is a family heirloom and honestly holds more sentimental value than monetary. I called the store and after talking to like 5 different people, I finally got the owner and they insisted that it was my stone, but their cleaning process is so good that my stone probably never had clouding. I was just bad at cleaning it and joked about me being a Karen. I have the paperwork from when the stone was purchased. It shows the imperfection. I am taking my stone into another jeweler this afternoon with my paperwork to see if it is the same stone, but then what? Do I call the police? Do I call a lawyer? Do I call them back and tell them I know they are full of crap and threaten to post on Yelp like a Karen? Edit: the new stone is a fake one. Local jeweler called Shady Jeweler. My stone was miraculously located. They are refunding me and driving the stone here this afternoon to a third jewelry store that verified it was a fake, doesn't do this kind of work, and are paying for the work. They are incredibly apologetic and are insisting that it was an honest mistake. Don't know what to believe, but it is solved for now, I hope. Edit number 2. It is my diamond. I knew it was from the naked eye imperfection, but jeweler confirmed using the clarity drawing from appraiser with loupe. Called the police station. I am meeting an officer there after my husband gets off work to make a report. I feel a little dramatic, but my gut says this was no accident. Thanks for the advice, everyone. Final edit: looks like jewelry store just swapped my ring with someone else's ring. I do believe this because my stone is not really a lot more valuable than the one I received, and my setting is very common: white gold 6-prong solitaire, wild right, but all is well. And people in the comments said the following: OP, I would still open a police report. It is likely that if they have done this to you, they have done it to others too. And someone then agreed, absolutely, that reeks of shady business the entire way. Gaslighting into trying to make it go away, knowing exactly where the missing diamond was, even though they totally didn't do anything. And Ripe Stars, how do you feel about this story? Do you really think the store tried to scam OP? For me, it certainly seems so, but honestly, I wouldn't have expected that a store like this would also be involved in scams. Nowadays it seems like there is a scam around every single corner. You really gotta be careful nowadays. And by the way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support me. Thank you so much in advance, it means the world to me. And the next one is titled, I think I am being investigated by a higher law enforcement agency for stuff that distant relatives are doing. So I've been kind of paranoid for the last few days and I am unsure of how to proceed. Since Monday of 2 weeks ago, someone has been parking a black panel van outside my house and followed me to work. When I say follow, I mean the van would remain where it was until I got to work. However, when I would go out for lunch, it would be in the parking lot. At first I assumed coincidence until I saw the car outside of the grocery store one day when I had spent over 2 hours in the store talking with a friend of mine who works there. I wrote down the plate number and went home. Next morning the van across the street had the same plate number as the one from the grocery store. I live in a kinda small town, so I figured it could still be a coincidence. Until I left for lunch that day and saw the van had the same plate number. Now I knew something was up. I called a friend of mine asking if he were playing a joke on me. His uncle owns a plumbing business and uses black vans with vinyl clinks on them. I thought that maybe they had not branded the van yet and he was just screwing with me. He told me it was not him, but asked me what the license plate was. He wanted to see if it was an old van they no longer used. When I told him the plate number, he made a big deal about the plate only having numbers and no letters on it. He thought I was screwing with him until I showed him the pictures of van outside my house and work. Side note, I will not be sharing these pictures as they are very clearly identifiable with the landmarks in the background. He told me to call the police immediately. I talked to an officer over the phone and told him what was happening. He made a big deal about the license plate only having numbers on it and did not believe me. I just asked him if he could send a car by my place. He reluctantly agreed and thought I was bullcrapping him. The next day the van was gone. 2 days later, there is a white SUV with dark tint on the windows. This SUV is also following me around and is being more aggressive. I started carrying my gun in my car just in case because of it, but I have been advised against it. I think it is a police van and SUV that has been following me as they both have license plate that have no letters in it. Looking up online, it looks like in Texas, license plate that only have numbers belong to the police. I've been unable to confirm that as the police department has been very terse with me. They told me that if I wanted to get them involved in this issue, I should come down and talk about it at the station with them. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna do that. My friend told me to contact a lawyer immediately, as it is likely I'm being investigated by some LEA that is not my local department, as they did not know anything about the black van at first. And as far as I know, LEA is Law Enforcement Agency. I have family who are, well, let's just say that we have a small herd of black sheep in our family. They live in NJ and are involved in a lot of illegal things. We will leave it at that. My familial connections with them has precluded me from getting a security clearance in the past to work for a major US military contractor and has created issues at airports. But I've never been investigated before. My local department has advised me not to make contact with the SUV following me and to not carry my firearm in my car. These two statements from them have me extremely paranoid and I am unsure of what I should do now. And a user in the comments said, if you are legally allowed to carry a firearm, then you may do so. No one here has any idea what the circumstances are, but if they are following you, they are doing a piss poor job of it, since the idea should be that you have no idea that they are there. Surveillance like you describe is very expensive and resource intensive. If it is the police or another agency, it will be very short-lived unless they have a really good reason to believe that you are involved in something beyond "I'm related to organized crime." And guys, if you were in the same situation as OP, what would you do? Honestly, it is kind of scary if you are followed by a random black or white SUV/van and don't know what is going on. Update to the Law Enforcement Agency's story. So, after reading some of your replies and after consulting with other family, it has been determined that a total of 7 family members are 100% positive that they are also being followed. Most were kinda sure that a car, van, SUV had been following them, but were not positive on it. Most thought it was a coincidence. I asked everyone who talked to me about it to check the license plate number. Told them I did not want the actual number, just to know if they were all number license plates that said exempt. They were for the 7 who are confirmed so far. About 5 kinda sure, not maybe, probably, definitely, sort of, unsure they are as well. But there's no guarantee on that. We will be talking with a lawyer tomorrow and I get to miss a day of work. Yay. No, I will not be going and taking coffee and donuts to the police in the SUV. I did, however, park my car on the street instead of the driveway today and left a box of a local donut shop on the hood of my car. I walked inside and saw them drive up and reach out to grab it. They know I know they are there and do not care. About an hour after I left the donuts on the top of my car, that white SUV was back. I don't think they are trying too hard here, no longer as worried as I once was, but still pretty concerned that police agencies have been watching us. And guys, unfortunately for now, that was the last update to the story, but in case there is more in the future or in case I find more, I will keep you updated. And the last one is not from r/LegalAdvice, but instead it is a little bonus story from our own subreddit r/ripe stories. And it was posted by our beloved Captain Dropbear and it is titled, "Excuse me boss, I need a new spirit level, I hit someone with it." The cast is me, your favorite Dropbear, new builder we just started working for, police and of course Mr. Crazy. So I get sent to do a normal routine install in an apartment block unit renovation, nothing out of the ordinary. My boss tells me it is for a new builder we have just picked up, cool bananas boss. I ring, say I am on my way, ask about parking, get told use unit 3B as that is the unit I am working on. See you soon. I arrive, park up, grab my 1.2 meters spirit level, important later dear readers, and tape measure and head to the unit. From above me I hear Mr. Crazy screaming at me, "You cannot park there, move or else." I pay Mr. Crazy no attention and knock on open door, enter the unit to talk to new builder and measure up. We hear shouting at the doorway from Mr. Crazy as the builder goes to see what is up and I just get stuck in and measure. All standard stuff, right? Oh, how wrong you are, dear readers. I hear smashing and Mr. Crazy screaming and builder shouting back with fear in his voice. I grab my tools and head back to truck to start installing of new shower screen as we make on site. Mr. Crazy is taking a baseball bat to the front door and Builder is trying to hold the door closed and is getting covered in glass. I tell the Builder to get away from the door and call the cops. Mr. Crazy stops when he sees me and just starts screaming for me to move my truck or he will smash it. I shout back, "Well, move away from the door so I can get out then." He moves, I head out to the truck and Mr. Crazy follows me, waving his bat around, threatening me with it. Now, as my big sister Mama-san knows, this drop bear likes to play dress up, see previous photos I have posted, and I've been doing medieval martial arts for years. A 1.2 meter spirit level is just about sword size, told you it was important. Oh, you just know what happens next. Dang right, big sister, Drop Bear used his training and as George Silver, a 16th century sword master said, I did a downright blow on Mr. Crazy. I caught him on the much loved V of his arms where he was holding the bat, swinging it left and right at me and proceeded to smack both his thumbs. Mr. Crazy drops the bat, screams in pain, and I follow with a reverse cut back up the same line, catching him right on the temple, and down he went like a sack of potatoes out cold. And I suppose right on the temple means right on his head? I'm not sure. Either way, I kick bat away and see Builder just staring at me with a WTF look, what the fruit. The Builder tells me police are on the way finally and Mr. Crazy had been going off all day. I check Mr. Crazy, put him in a recovery position and just start working. Carry screen in, install it, pack up and chat with Builder. The Builder is still giving me the what the F looks, but I just carry on like normal. 1 year warranty on workmanship, do not use for 24 hours, blah blah blah. Police finally turn up 30 minutes later to Mr. Crazy sleeping on the ground, a bed 3 to 4 meters away from him, a smashed door, a Builder looking like a shocked Pikachu, and a drop bear smoking and explaining all the different jobs we can do. I tell the cops what happened, give a statement, and so does Builder. Mr. Crazy wakes up, freaks out when he sees police, and promptly gets tasered for his troubles and gets taken away. I look at Builder and say, well, I hope all your jobs are not like this, and hope you're happy with my work and use us again. Now, how do I explain to my boss I need a new spirit level? Laughing, I'll wave my hand like a Jedi and say, you know nothing. To which Builder replies, also waving his hand like a Jedi, these are not the droids you're looking for. Yep, I think we are going to be doing a lot more work for him. And finally, a little mini update. The police called me back as I broke both of Mr. Crazy's thumbs. No, I'm not being charged, they put it down as self-defense. Turns out he was released early from jail a week ago and was high on heroin and booze. So he's going directly to jail, do not pass go or collect $200. Builder went and saw my boss and said I did a great job and how I took out Mr. Crazy and bought me a new spirit level and a bottle of Jim Beam as a thank you. But I'm also in trouble as I did not report to boss about Mr. Crazy and filled in an accident report. If I hear more, I will update. And Mr. Captain Drop Bear, I'm not exactly sure if knocking out people while on the job is exactly in the job description, but either way, good job, well done. And the last one was posted by user Ripestars and it is titled Run Off Bad Karma. Hey all, first time poster, mobile, you get the gist. I grew up in the deep south, so far south you are almost north again. God, football and the American way is all good, but the South shall rise again. I've never been racist and don't use that ugly word. Where I live, however, you do have racists more than I care to think of for the sake of my grand and great grandkids. Things are better now though than when I was growing up. Now to the main story. When I was in high school, so obviously a long time ago, a certain multi-letter organization decided it was going to have a rally in my town. Some costumed fellow was coming to drive up their number from the people who were racist against all colors but white. Back then, most exciting thing we had was the fair or air show, so everybody went to the courthouse. All the street were full of milling people of all races. One older black gentleman spoke what was in my heart years before Rodney King, white black we all bleed the same. If I hadn't been a 16-year-old shy girl, I would have grabbed him for a hug. The climate at the moment I was scared, I would have made him think I was attacking. The not so special group stayed only maybe 2 hours, everyone kept chanting loud enough to drown out the bullhorn for them to leave. We didn't want them, go home. Finally, the cops intervened with no permit, no rally. The fancy purple dinosaur or whatever he is did not show up. They did get a few members, sad to say. A guy I knew from school was on that bus, he was a beep anyway. I will always think of this as the day we came together to run the 3K letters out of town. And once again guys, I would just like to say thank you for everybody who is still posting stories on r/ripestories, aka our own subreddit, and if you want you can post your own stories if you want me to read them in a video. For me it is seriously something very special that people actually write their own stories for me to read them in a video. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to read them. I really appreciate that you take the time to go on Reddit, go to our subreddit and post your stories there. And guys, unfortunately we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.